Hello, everybody. This is Dr. David Jockers, and today we're talking about 11 hidden causes of insomnia. I struggled with insomnia for many years, and I was basically violating a lot of these principles I'm going to talk about. And so many of you guys that are out there have struggled with insomnia, where we're really going to break down what would cause insomnia, why somebody would have it, and natural strategies to help overcome it. And so if you don't know me, my name's Dr. David Jockers. I'm a doctor of natural medicine. I practice in a clinic, Exodus Health Center, that I started back in 2009. It's right outside of Atlanta in a town called Kennesaw, Georgia. And this is my beautiful wife, Angel. My little boys, David and Joshua. And I really specialize in helping people improve their metabolism, help them overcome chronic conditions, and thrive in life. And so as we get into sleep deprivation, I think all of us understand the negative effects that come when we don't sleep well, such as just lowered energy, brain fog, trouble remembering things, overall lowered performance. We're also typically emotionally more fragile. We have a higher risk of depression, anxiety, irritability, anger, different issues like that. And it also affects our metabolism. And so when we don't sleep well, we're going to have higher amounts of stress hormones. And stress hormones are going to elevate our blood sugar, and they're also going to make us store more body fat. So certain body types are going to be fatter and carry more body fat. Other body types are going to be more catabolic, and they just won't be able to gain muscle or have good bone when they don't sleep well. So 11 hidden causes of insomnia. We've got to sleep well to heal well. So that's always key. Sleeping is when we heal. We've got to sleep well to heal well. So number one is obvious, not prioritizing quality sleep. I think all of us have done that. We've wanted to stay up late, whether we were at a party or with friends, or just, being entertained with TV or on our computer. And we just didn't prioritize getting to sleep at a good time. I'm a huge fan of being in bed by 10 p.m. I think that that's a great strategy. They say every hour before midnight is equivalent to 3 hours of sleep after midnight, meaning you get more regenerative benefits from sleep before midnight than after midnight. And that has a lot to do with your growth hormone. You're going to secrete more growth hormone when you sleep, when you go to bed earlier. Also, if you don't eat super late at night, like at least 3 hours before you go to bed. So if you go to bed at 10, you shouldn't eat after 7. And ideally, if you can finish your meal by like 6:30, that would be great. You're going to get more growth hormone release. Growth hormone is going to stimulate your body to help repair muscle tissue, bone tissue, strengthen up the immune system. So you're going to get such better benefits from that. Now, number 2 for causes of insomnia, inadequate sunlight exposure. And so getting good sun exposure during the daytime hours is actually beneficial for your circadian rhythm and helps you produce more melatonin at night and suppress your cortisol, your stress hormone release at night, which helps you sleep better. So you want to do this as often as you can. I know here in Atlanta, Georgia, where I'm at, we have had like 2 weeks where it's just been gray skies. Now, there are other things you could do, like using, a safe tanning bed or safe UV light, which is something I do. But if you can't do that, just really trying to take extra good care of yourself during this period of time, because sunlight is so key to good health. And so if you're going to go a few weeks in cloudy skies, that much more important to make sure you're taking really good care of your body. Sleeping in the wrong environment. So if you're sleeping in an environment, for example, where there's lots of lights, or just not in a comfortable environment in your bed or something like that, trying to sleep on the couch, that's not going to be healthy. Also, a damaged gut. So we know leaky gut equals leaky brain. So if we have got some issue with our gut, like an infection, a gut infection, then it's going to overstimulate our brain, and we can develop anxiety and sleep disorders. Additional body weight. So when we have additional weight on us, it's going to compress our chest and cause more snoring at night, altered breathing, sleep apnea, which is going to dramatically affect our ability to sleep well. Not properly unwinding. A lot of times we are watching TV or working on our computer, and we're doing things that take a lot of dopamine and stress hormones. We're like goal-oriented. We're trying to get stuff done. And then we just think, that we're going to unwind in like 5 minutes while we brush our teeth and jump in the bed. And oftentimes it's not the case. So we need to take time to unwind. I always recommend to my clients at least 20 or 30 minutes just away from the blue lights, away from electronics to help your body unwind. And if you're having sleep problems, even better to do an hour, do electronic curfew an hour before you go to bed. And what I tell people to do is do an Epsom salt bath, because the magnesium and the sulfates in there will really help. Put some essential oils like lavender, chamomile, passion flower, those types of essential oils, really, really good for helping to reduce stress hormones and increase melatonin to help you sleep really good. Irregular sleep schedule. I think we've all been there before, where it's like we're normally going to bed at 10 and then all of a sudden it's 1 a.m. and we're going to sleep. And then we kind of get off track when we do that. So really trying to stay as regular as possible with your sleep schedule. So important for daily energy and performance. Physical tension. So of course, if you've got a lot of pain in your body or tension in your body, oftentimes it's a sign of obviously chronic stress, but also could be a deficiency, which is number 9 there. Like magnesium, I see that often with people that have a lot of physical tension or people that are grinding their teeth, oftentimes a magnesium deficiency, just addressing that. Adrenal dysfunction, and that's going to cause a circadian rhythm dysfunction. I'm going to go over that in just a minute. And also low GABA levels. And GABA is an inhibitory neurotransmitter. We're going to talk more about that as we go on. So I think all of us understand the benefits of good sleep. We understand that it's going to help improve our immune system. It's going to help reduce our risk of developing chronic disease. We feel better in general when we sleep well. So we all want good sleep. It's just a matter of prioritizing it enough to set up your schedule and build your schedule around it. It could be the most vital factor when it comes to balancing out your hormones, helping stabilize your blood sugar. We're always talking about diet and foods, but I think sleep is actually the most important component when it comes to stabilizing your blood sugar and helping support ketone production in your body. So important for the brain. So we definitely want to prioritize it. Normally, we should have high cortisol in the morning, low melatonin. And then as the day progresses, our cortisol goes down, our melatonin starts to rise. In particular, melatonin will rise, as you can see here, as the sun goes down. So like 7 p.m. or whenever the sun sets. And then all of a sudden, we're going to get a big release, as you can see on the chart, a little bit after 9 o'clock. So like I was talking about, you can see here that you're going to get your peak release of melatonin between the hours. Like you can see the vertical rise between the hours of like 9 and 11, right? 11 to 12 maybe. And so during that period of time, you're getting the most melatonin release. You want to be sleeping as much as you can during that period of time. So you're going to get such higher quality sleep overall. I know last night I went to bed at 9 p.m. I was tired. I went to bed at 9 p.m. I ended up waking up actually feeling refreshed at 4:30 this morning. Now I had set my alarm for 5:30, which is normally when I wake up. But I woke up an hour earlier. I just felt super refreshed and charged. That's not usually the case for me. A lot of times, especially if I'm going to bed after 10, I'll wake up at 5:30, but I won't be refreshed. I'll be kind of groggy. But just really getting to bed early, and I find that if I'm able to get to bed at 9, I feel like I sleep so much more effectively. And this is why, because of this huge melatonin release, this vertical climb in melatonin that takes place. So you get so much more tissue regeneration and immune strengthening if you're able to do that. I think it can be tough to make it sustainable for people, and that's why I tell them 10. But if you're able to do it at 9, even better. And then you'll just be an early riser. You get a lot done early in the day. So this is what we want. Now, when people are not able to fall asleep at night, they have suppressed melatonin and higher cortisol levels, and that's actually going to keep them up. They're going to feel energized around 9, 10, 11 o'clock, not be able to fall asleep effectively. So very important. Now, here are some strategies to minimize overall blue light exposure, because blue light, we know, this comes from electronics, is going to stimulate more cortisol. So you can replace your bedroom light bulbs with softer red-orange colored lighting or candlelight. And also there is an article that goes along with this video. It's at the bottom of this video on YouTube here, where I actually give you links to find the right type of light bulbs and also blue light blocking glasses. So these are great things to wear in the evening when you're on your computer or you're on some sort of electronic device, would be to wear these blue light blocking glasses, because the blue light's going to stimulate stress hormones and we don't want them elevating. We want them reducing at night so we can get a really good night's sleep. This is really important for all of us, but especially individuals that do struggle with insomnia. That much more important to wear their blue light blocking glasses. You can also install f.lux or Iris on your computer to change screen hue. So if you just type in Google f.lux, you'll find the website. It's free download, and it will actually change the color spectrum coming out of your computer as the sun rises and sets. So basically when the sun sets, it's going to come out and it is going to have an orange hue, which blocks the blue light. And then, as the sun rises in the morning, now it's going to change back and be more of a blue hue. So remember that. And then also make sure that you're not sleeping with your electronic devices in the bedroom. That Wi-Fi exposure is a low-level stressor that can keep you up. Now, if you have your phone on airplane mode, that should be fine, okay? But, sometimes we forget. And so that's why I tell people to just remove it from the bedroom. And, if you're still struggling with sleep, after you've done all these things, then I would also recommend turning off your Wi-Fi, which can also reduce a stress load, electromagnetic stress load on your body, and help you get a really good night's sleep. Now, let's talk about GABA and why this is so important. GABA is like the brakes in a car. It helps slow down brain activity. So we've got this neurotransmitter called glutamate, which is an excitatory neurotransmitter. So it helps with really good cognitive acceleration, thinking sharply and quickly, memory and recall. But it needs to be balanced by GABA to kind of slow it down, or it will overexcite neurons or nerve cells to death. It will actually kill them and cause more brain damage in the body when we don't have that. And so we need to really balance things out. Now, a lot of people have this level of neuroexcitotoxicity where the nerve cells are exciting themselves to death because they're low in GABA. They're either not producing enough GABA, or they may have antibodies to an enzyme that helps convert glutamate to GABA. So that could also be an issue. Now, what causes that? Well, chronic stress throughout the day is going to throw off our GABA levels. So if we're under a high amount of stress throughout the day, that's definitely going to throw off our GABA levels, going to make us much more likely to have poor quality sleep at night. It's like a vicious cycle because we need the sleep to be able to react and become more resilient to the stress. But if we're not sleeping well, then we're not going to be able to become more resilient. We're going to have more stress, and we're going to have more fatigue, and then we're not going to sleep as well. So at some point, we've got to really get this under control. Take a really good rest day, really focus on these other low-hanging fruit, reduce any sort of unnecessary stressors in your life so you can get back in balance. Gut microbiome dysbiosis. If you've got parasite overgrowth or bad bacteria or yeast overgrowth, they're going to release excitotoxins. So they're going to release different molecules like lipopolysaccharides that are highly toxic and damaging to the brain. So we've got to get that under control. We've got to kill any infection, support the development of a healthy microbiome if we're going to sleep effectively. We need good sleep, of course, right? Inadequate or ineffective sleep, definitely going to lower GABA. Good blood sugar. So really good, healthy diet. It supports a healthy microbiome and blood sugar. This is why I'm a huge fan of a well-formulated, micronutrient-rich ketogenic diet, because it's going to help stabilize our blood sugar. It's going to help support the gut microbiome. It's also going to provide key micronutrients to support our stress response and to support our body's ability to keep inflammation under control and support healthy glutamate to GABA balance. In particular, nutrients for glutamate to GABA balance are going to be zinc, vitamin B6, magnesium, taurine, and glutamine. These are all really key for supporting glutamate production as well as GABA production. So we need to have that. Zinc, B6, and magnesium are most important for the conversion process, especially so we can get adequate GABA, so we can have a really balanced brain. Now, strategies to raise GABA, of course, we talked about improve the microbiome, anti-inflammatory, low carbohydrate, high good fat. I'm a fan of the ketogenic diet. Adapt to stress better. So just looking at what stressors are just draining your energy. What are the small stressors, and doing your best to minimize those, because we're always going to have stress in our life, and sometimes we're going to have big stressors that There's no getting around. But we can minimize a lot of the stuff that's draining our energy, a lot of the smaller stressors that we're dealing with on a daily basis, and that's going to help us adapt to stress better. Also, really taking the time to exercise, for example, is going to help you adapt to stress better. Deep breathing and meditation helps you adapt to stress better. Being a part of a community group can help you adapt to stress better. Just having good, healthy relationships helps you. So all those types of things help. Epsom salt baths with essential oils, we talked about that. Doing like lavender, chamomile essential oil with the Epsom salt bath can be really effective. We want to do everything we can to help improve our quality of sleep, which then is going to help us raise GABA naturally and get us on a good cycle. So really focusing on strategies to improve that. Now, good herbs, you can use these as essential oils. You can drink them in herbal teas. You can also take them in supplement form or in the dried form as well. Valerian root, passion flower, lemon balm, lavender, peppermint. So many of these are essential oils again, herbal teas. And I actually have a whole video on herbs that improve sleep quality. So you can check that out where I actually go through each one of these and go through the benefits and how and why to use it. So you can check that out. But these are all really great herbs that you can be using to improve your sleep quality. This is a great tea right here that I recommend for people, organic nighty-night tea. So they got the valerian root one, which is typically the one that I recommend. These also have chamomile and passion flower in them, which we talked about above. And they really help with that GABA production, helping to reduce stress hormones. They're adaptogens, so they help our body to reduce stress and help induce a really, really good high quality sleep at night. So would highly recommend these. Nighttime routine. So again, creating a good routine at night, so important for reducing insomnia. Make sure you turn off all electronics, take care of your hygiene, such as, brushing your teeth, putting on, taking off makeup if you're a female, or whatever your approach is, brushing and flossing. So do your hygiene. Do 5 minutes of light stretching. So this is always a really, really good idea. Just do a little bit of light stretching. You may journal, meditate, and pray over, for example, 3 things you're grateful for. So you take 3 things that you're grateful for and you just journal about them. You may write about them in a journal. You may just meditate on them. You may take time to pray over them and just pray, just ask God for favor in these areas and thank him for providing you with so much. And so spend time with family. Make sure you're deep breathing. We talked about enjoying herbal tea, like a good nighty-night tea. And, you can also share laughter with someone. Now, it needs to be, low-level laughter. It can't be like laughing, belly laughter, hysterical laughter, because that's going to elevate stress hormones. But sometimes a light chuckle can help reduce unnecessary stress hormones and improve endorphins and melatonin release. So I have a whole video on the best supplements for sleep, but here are a couple great ones. Magnesium, adaptogens, relaxing herbs, and melatonin. So I'm kind of in this order. Like most people are going to do really good on magnesium. We drain it every time we're under stress or we have a blood sugar imbalance. We drain our magnesium levels. Magnesium is to the body what oil is to the car. So really making sure you get enough magnesium every day is key. Now, the great thing is the way you know you're getting too much magnesium is you have diarrhea. And so up until you have diarrhea, your body's really using the magnesium. So make sure you get a good form like a magnesium citrate, malate, glycinate, threonate, right? Some sort of a good form like that, maybe a magnesium chloride. So a good form will really help. My favorite is magnesium L-threonate, particularly for sleep because it crosses the blood-brain barrier. We'll talk about that in a minute. Adaptogenic herbs are great. Some people do have a negative reaction to them, but for the most part, they're great. That's things like cordyceps, ashwagandha, rhodiola, reishi, lion's mane, holy basil, these great herbs. Maca is another one. And then you have specific herbs that are a little bit more relaxing. We talked about that already. That's going to be your things like chamomile, passion flower, lemon balm, valerian root, stuff like that. And so those are also really good. And then melatonin can be amazing for a really good night's sleep. So my first step, obviously, other than like all the general hygiene and things that we talked about, creating the strategies we already discussed, would be magnesium. I really think that most people are going to really benefit and see big changes in their life, their health, their sleep quality, their brain function by taking a high quality magnesium. And I personally really like this Brain Calm Magnesium. It is with magnesium L-threonate and malate. Malate helps your body produce cellular energy. Threonate crosses the blood-brain barrier, reduces stress hormones, helps support neurotransmitter synthesis, helps develop healthy gaps between the nerve cells. Really amazing product that has some remarkable research really showing promise for people with Alzheimer's, dementia, sleep problems, all these brain and neurological type issues. This sort of magnesium is great. So that's why I recommend the Brain Calm Magnesium. You can find that on my website. Now, adaptogenic herbs. We talked about the benefit of these. So this is one that actually works really well to reduce high cortisol. So I'll use, this one has ashwagandha, lemon balm in it. It has theanine, which is another really relaxing herb nutrient as well. So a lot of great benefits to that. I take this every night before I go to bed. It's really, really good. And then we also have a magnesium with melatonin that you can actually put on the fatty tissues of your body. So you can put it on like the bottoms of your feet, on your arms, places like that, to kind of get into the bloodstream and be kind of fast acting support. We also have the melatonin in this sleep support, which is a sustained release melatonin that stays elevated in your body for basically about 6 hours or so. So you take this before you go to bed, you're going to get a significantly better night's sleep. I know for myself, if I'm traveling a lot or if I'm really off schedule somehow, then, or if I'm under a lot of stress, I'll always take a little bit of this melatonin, so sleep support, and it works like a charm, really gets me back in balance. So, so those are different supplements that you can utilize. And hopefully overall, the strategies we discussed really provide a lot of value for you guys. And we do have other videos on sleep, on supplements to sleep, on herbs, different things like that, different strategies. So be sure to check those out if you want more information. And I will see all of you guys on a future online training.